Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and it's Paydirt battle time again. And this time I'm going to be battling a bag of Felix Paydirt versus a bag of Felix Paydirt. Now, Felix Paydirt has been selling his bags of Paydirt for over 25 years, and I've reviewed him a few times in the last 8 years. In fact, I've reviewed his Bonanza bag 3 times, and my average ROI was 58%, and I just wasn't a fan of the Paydirt. They had no guaranteed gold, the prices were high, and the ROIs were pretty low. Now, after multiple bad reviews, I actually added them to my do not review again list because the ROIs just weren't worth it. But then about 2 months ago, I saw they had added a new line of Paydirts that had guaranteed amounts of gold in them, which made me wonder, does that mean they might have stepped up their game with their no guaranteed bags as well? So I had one of my secret shoppers pick up a $200 Bonanza bag with no guaranteed set amount of gold or ROI, and a $200 junior Klondike bag with 2 grams of gold and a minimum ROI of 86.72% on the day of purchase. And I'm excited to see how this is going to go. I've done a lot of battles comparing seller versus seller, but I think this might be the first time I've ever had a seller who sold a bag with a guarantee and a bag with no guarantee. So again, really excited to see how this turns out, but let's just flash up the description for both of these bags of Paydirt, go to the overhead, and check them out a little bit closer. As you saw, neither one of these Paydirts have a very good description, but I guess the Klondike is a little bit better because it does tell you about the gold, that you're going to get 2 grams, and that it's going to be from pickers to fines. They both do say that you will get 2 pounds of material. Let's check out the Bonanza bag, and there you go, 2.04 pounds. The Klondike bag, 2.04 as well. Let's open them both up. Check out the material. I will rinse out both these bags before the end of the video, just in case some gold gets trapped in the little nooks and crannies. Come on, open. So I gotta say, both of these look like the exact same material. I really don't see a difference in them. They look the exact same to me, even though they do say in the description for the Bonanza bag that it's from a very small resource, but they look like the same material. And let's check them for magnetite, see if they have anything in them. They look kind of heavy in black sands, but it doesn't look like there's very much magnetite in them. Definitely nothing in this one. And yeah, nothing. No real magnetite in either one. Doesn't mean that there won't be a lot of black sands, just none of it's going to be magnetized. Now, I am not going to classify either one of these down. We're just going to pan them out exactly as they are. We're going to start with a Bonanza bag, then we're going to do the Klondike bag. So let's go listen to some music, pan out some Paydirt, and hopefully find some good gold.
Short bed Chevrolet sits outside on my window pane. It's needed work for quite a while. We used to sit on the old tailgate in the parking lot of a preacher's son. That's holy smoke that you can't find anywhere else. Every word to a turnpike song, boys in the back still singing along. That was every summer in the Bible Belt. Well, hell, ain't I too young to have good old days when I come back? See how things have changed, makes me feel like I should be old and gray, but ain't I too young to have good old days? All the boys, they work like dogs. They're getting married and they're moving off. How am I gonna act this lost and still feel twice my age? Ain't I too young to have good old days when I come back? See how things have changed, makes me feel like I should be old and gray, but ain't I too young to have good old days? Well, ain't I too young to have good old days when I come back? See how things have changed, makes me feel like I should be old and gray, but ain't I too young to have good old days?
Well, finished panning out both bags of Paydirt, and they weren't very difficult to pan out, but we'll talk about that in a minute. For right now, let's show you the gold I found. And there you go. I did find one really big picker nugget in the Bonanza bag, and just a lot of smaller, some chunkies in the Klondike bag. So we're going to put these here to weigh up. Now, if you've ever purchased from Felix before, you know they love their flyers. And when you buy these Paydirts, they come with mini flyers as well as a little jar to put your gold in. We'll get rid of the advertisements here and just weigh these up. We're going to weigh up the picker first. Get my scales if I stop moving it. There we go. Just the nugget by itself, 0.650 grams. Now this bag, the Bonanza bag, has no guaranteed set amount of gold. So let's see what the total amount of gold I get from it. .260 grams. So not as much as I'd like to see. It did have the one big nugget, but still, I would prefer if I would have gotten more gold out of it. And now let's weigh up the Klondike bag. Now this one was guaranteed 2 grams. .005. So not much more than what was guaranteed, but that's all I was really looking for, what was guaranteed. Now for these bags from Felix Paydirt, neither one was very difficult, but if I had to choose one more difficult than the other, it would be the Klondike bag, because it does have a lot more smaller gold than the Bonanza bag, but neither one of these bags was very hard. There's very little black sands in it. It didn't really cloud up the water too badly, and there's very little in the -40 range. Most of it is probably in the 20 mesh to 40 mesh range, and then chunkier from there. So for a beginner, I would give this a medium, but for an advanced or expert panner, this is pretty easy paydirt to go through. All right, finished calculating my ROIs, writing up my review, and let's see who won this battle. Well, before we do that, let me thank today's sponsors, who are my Patreon members who support this channel and these videos so I can do reviews like this. So thank you very much to all my Patreon members, including my newest ones, Teo, Gilbert F., Craig Martin, and Dorothy Richardson. So thank you very much for joining my Patreon page. And if you want to support these videos, you can check me out at patreon.com/Miller Prospecting. And now let's get to the review. We'll flash up the spreadsheet on the screen so we can go through it. Now again, both of these bags came from Felix Paydirt. I had a 2-pound Bonanza bag and a 2-pound Junior Klondike bag. The Bonanza bag had no guaranteed set amount of gold, while the Klondike bag was guaranteed 2 grams. Both bags cost $200 exactly. Both bags will have $18 shipping, so $218 per bag. Now with the Bonanza bag, I recovered 1.260 grams of gold, and with the Klondike bag, I recovered 2.005 grams. Now, gold spot for both bags was $94.52 because I had my secret shopper buy them on the exact same day at the exact same time. Now, for gold value, with the Felix Bonanza bag, I ended up with $119.10, where with the Klondike bag, it was $189.51, giving me ROIs of 54.63% and 86.93%, or on my scales, a 5.5 and an 8.7. And again, the Bonanza bag had a subpar ROI. My history earlier, I've reviewed them multiple times and I averaged about a 58%, and it's going down now because this one is a 54.63%. Where with the Klondike bag, I got a really good ROI at 86.93%. That's a great ROI. An 87% ROI. You really can't beat that with very many sellers. And it's just, I don't. Well, let's go on to Fun Factor. For Fun Factor, they're going to score the exact same as their ROI, which is a 5.5 and an 8.7. So didn't really see anything to take away from their Fun Factor or add to it. They were average bags of Paydirt. For descriptions, the Bonanza bag is going to get a 3. It pretty much just tells you how much it weighs and where the material is from. Whereas with the Klondike bag, not only does it tell you where the Paydirt is from, it tells you how much you're going to get and the gold, as well as what size the gold will probably be in. So much better description for the Klondike bag. For quantity and packaging, they're both going to get a 9. They both came in typical coffee bags, and they both were exactly 2 pounds, a little bit over 2 pounds. And lastly, for customer service and shipping, they're getting a 10. The customer service was really great from Felix, incredibly fast. I emailed them through a dummy account. I had my secret shopper email them through his account, and they were incredibly fast replying. And the shipping went out, I believe, the exact same day my secret shopper ordered. It went out within 24 hours. So a 10 all around for customer service and shipping. Giving Felix Paydirt a total score for the Bonanza bag of a 6.6, which is a decent, not great score. Not very good for a $218 bag of Paydirt. And an 8.5 for the Klondike bag. So a really great score. I'm really impressed with the Klondike bag. Coming from a seller who is on my do not review again list, I think they've really made some huge improvements with their new Paydirts. Unfortunately, their old Paydirts still seem to be stuck in the, we'll put in one big picker or nugget and give you a really low ROI. So obviously the Klondike bag definitely won this battle. They pretty much hands down beat the Bonanza bag. I just can't see anything redeeming qualities about the Bonanza bag that you wouldn't also get from the Klondike bag and then also get a much better ROI. So would I buy this Paydirt again or recommend it? And the answer is a yes and a no. I would definitely not recommend the Bonanza bag or any of their non-guaranteed bags of Paydirt. I just don't think you're going to get a decent ROI. Even if you do get a picker or nugget in it, it's definitely not worth not getting a higher ROI. However, for their new Paydirts with guaranteed sets amounts of gold, I think they're really good. I like panning out the material. It was fun to pan out, and I got a really high ROI. So I would definitely recommend getting their 2-gram or their 4-gram Paydirt. I actually have a 4-gram on my shelf. I'm going to be panning out next Tuesday on a live show, and I'm really excited to pan it out to see what size gold it comes in and maybe get a picker or two in it. So like I said, I would order their new guaranteed Paydirts, but I definitely wouldn't order any of their non-guaranteed Paydirts. Their old stuff is still just as bad as it always was. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Happy panning. And if you're not already a subscriber, think about hitting the subscribe button below.